Hello everyone, it's me Jenny and welcome to part 3 of my D&D second mini-series thing. And another segment on D&D and D&D in the wider internet. I've talked about Critical Role, but I finally got around to watching Liam's one-shot this week, which was fantastic and brilliant. I can remember, like, the thing with I've learned from being playing D&D and being a player character is the concept of having to like speak in someone else's voice and trying to, that awkwardness of trying to express something when you're not really sure how to express it, and they captured that for experienced RPG players. Trying to capture that is a really difficult thing to do, and by making the characters play themselves, spoiler alert, that was a great way of doing that. It was funny, it was clever. I loved the Titanic reference. If anyone else got that, feel free to comment. And I like the fact that if you read the Dungeon Master's Guide, there is actually a section in terms of setting your world, which is basically a free-for-all. The world has gone to shit. There's magic and there's demons and there's futuristic weapons and there's real life, and I kind of think that Liam kind of took that concept and rolled with it in a fantastic way, making it a surreal interpretation of like voice acting life, setting the environment somewhere that's all familiar, so it's a very visual aesthetic for the actual players and forcing them to be that character rather than making it so out there like fantasy settings are. A very smart choice to do that in comparison to Matthew Mercer, who masters the art of fantasy and high fantasy, putting it into a baseline. It's really very interesting, very cool, great story, great humour. I think the players had a good time, and I think it was a really good experience for Liam, and I think it was a great experience for prospective DMs who are nervous, to show that it can be okay. It can be okay to do something different and new and exciting, even under the pressures of working with a master. And it's one of the advantages of the D&D group that I'm part of, is that we all do short sessions and you can always kind of volunteer to be a DM, so you don't really have time to kind of work someone up as the master of all and then have to step into their shoes, because there just isn't time. But I was really impressed. I was really happy with it, and good job, Liam. Applause. And I'm very much looking forward to future events of this kind. I'd be interested to see whether or not Liam ever continues with this story, whether or not we'll get some other talk show host that turns out to be some giant, hag. I don't know. Maybe Ellen will end up being like a swamp witch. I don't know. It'll be cool. I don't know. The other thing I watched this week is Matthew Mercer's also been running a web series on Nerdist, starring Chris Hardwick and a couple of other Nerdist and various other RPG show star people, series, which is Giant Hunters. And I'm going to try and keep it brief because this video is going on too long, but I found it slightly disconcerting at first, because it's edited, unlike Critical Role where it's very, natural and loosey-goosey and no edits and just continuous. Giant Hunters is very edited, like it will just snap to rolls, it'll snap to moments, it'll have character moments, it doesn't really have any pauses or explanations or banter in that way, which is a bit jarring for someone who's become very used to watching just a long-form free-for-all. That being said, it is enjoyable. It's nice seeing Matt Mercer and Ashley Johnson play different characters in different settings, and still kind of, it's nice to have their personalities come through, but in different ways. To see the challenge of a short form campaign. It looks like it was almost shot all in one day, which is very impressive. And I like the fact that Matthew Mercer was able to put an NPC into the group as a guide, so he doesn't have to spend too much time explaining the world. The guide can automatically step in and be like, well, this is obviously what this is about. And also they give him the choice of guides so the characters can choose who they wanted to be in. My one flaw with it is I have very mixed feelings about Chris Hardwick. And he does have that sort of personality that sometimes takes over an event like this, and he's definitely, the fact that he's got a joke name and everyone else is taking it seriously. Again, if you go into the Dungeon Master's Guide, there is sections on making it very clear to the players that you're all on the same page, and for example having someone if someone's called Anonymous Bob, and someone's called Lithandrol Nakawin of the Elven tribe of blah blah blah, those two characters are not going to mix well in a game, and the fact that Chris Hardwick's got a character called Will Wheaton, and all of the other characters have got proper fantasy names, is the first step in a jarring personality clash and how they're going to play the game type clash. It's working, it's a good series, I'm very much enjoying seeing how it progresses. That being said, it's not as enjoyable as Critical Role, in that in Critical Role the world is so, like, the actors are so familiar with each other and so confident and so similar, and it works on that level, while this is a bit jarring in terms of personality switches, but I'm excited to see where it goes. And, you know, these people haven't played before, so there is going to be a necessary character kind of getting to know each other. It's an awkward sort of situation, but it works. It's just not as good as Critical Role at the moment. It may well end up being. Whew. End of this video. It's way too long anyway. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye!